What's up, my handsomes? Guess who it is? Jacoby K, the content stealer who has no content of his own to make. So as you can see, we're over here reacting to this sexy specimen of a fucking god, because my ass is too lazy to make real content. So if you enjoyed the video, tell me. Anyway, we're gonna be reacting to PDbreezy's gameplay right here. This is, I don't even know where this gameplay is from, bruv, and I can't even fucking maximize the screen, bruv. What the? There we go. As you can see, we got some crazy type shit on the top, but ignore that. Down here, this is from like ages ago. I wasn't even born when this gameplay released, bro. 28th of February 2020. That shit's ancient, but we're gonna be analyzing some ancient gameplays right here. This is a solid squad game. This is why I specifically highlighted this one from PDbreezy, because I can fulfill the most input on this by myself, which is quite decent. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. It's a 38. Obviously, we have a solo squad, and he's going to be landing into infirmary. I think a good idea would be to make this louder, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. This infirmary spot is quite good. Doesn't really depend. There's no difference if you land on left or top or bottom here. Pretty much the exact same thing. My favorite spots are infirmary, corner, and reception. I used to only land corner, but in my opinion, infirmary and reception are quite good. We'll see what sort of playstyle he employs and what speed he likes to play.
Imagine if we get another 45 tonight.
The loot here is... you're looking for guns, so you're fine here. Unfortunately, no one landed this side. What you can do with this play, if you land on this side, it doesn't really matter what side you land on, that parachute might mean there's someone on the catwalk. You will see me in some gameplays, in my newer gameplays, push out of this thing here and get a free kill on a catwalk. Early game, try and get as many free kills as you can. That's a very nice free kill you can get if you're fast enough. It really depends on the loot you get. He has the capabilities, but I don't think there's anyone on that catwalk anyway. But for anyone who's just wondering how to play the game, that's a good idea. He's going straight up. I usually don't do this because there is no loot up here. Your supply gets cucked. He backed off because of the footsteps on the left. Beating this guy's down, ass down. Now this guy, one thing that you will notice, I would recommend doing this, check what skins people have and check if they like their bot skins. This guy is a bot skin, that'll be important for the next like 10 seconds of the video. Yeah, I haven't watched the video already, but I did check the first 30 seconds, so yeah, don't worry, it's my main like first reaction. The skydive is very good. You don't want to chow mogs, especially, you know, the time to kill of him is a millisecond. Here you have the shittest SMG of all time. The reason you want to reach out like this, as I said, this works because he has a mog, first of all, so it's closer range. He might follow you, no problem, free kill. Even if he has something long range, he's a bot. Most likely he won't kill you because he has the bot skin. So doing something like this works. Only issue with that, make sure you check your surroundings before you do this. Usually, from this case, you'll be able to hear people out here anyway, so PDbreezy is doing fine. Taking the SG-12 instead, that is perfectly fine decision in my opinion. The Damon is a piece of shit gun. Now this is something I wouldn't personally do. If you I would loop back over here. I would possibly compare this playstyle to something Barks would do. Barks was the initial sort of forefather of the vacuum doctrine, which suggests you should not be in Cell House in the mid game, and you should be going out to any other location other than Cell House, because Cell House is an ass location to farm kills, to get kills. Issue of that is if you go there too early, as you can see, supply is a bit shit. So you're relying on the location here to get supply. We got some bot here, no problem, chase him down. Preferably you want two teams here. If you're playing on solo squad, you want to be in a place with two teams. Might seem counterintuitive. Trust me, it is much better to be in a place with two teams rather than just one. I can also minimize this. Nice brawler. Focusing on perks, which is good. Taking out the thing there. 40. Nothing particularly horribly wrong or bad. You can punch the I would punch the zombies and ego chow him. Just get the health that way. He decides to go head on. That's fine, works. Only issue with that is in case there's another person. That's why you would want to first of all, what the concept of time, the reason time is important. If you would try to avoid people, that gives their teammates time to engage you next time with the person. So if you try and avoid someone and come back into them like 2 seconds later, it might turn out to be two people now. That's why sometimes ego challenging is a reasonably good option. Just make sure you do it correctly. It's like here I would have punched the zombie instead. Yeah, I went back a bit too far. So I would have punched the zombie and then pushed him straight with the SG-12 as well. Aim in, of course, with SG-12. Don't try and hit fire from that range. It will take too long to kill him. So yeah, he went around the side, blocking the angle of the pillar. There could be some bullshit. Might be some 4 guys which spawn out of here. Might not. Okay, it wasn't 4 guys, so it was good. He could reshine. The guy was playing weird as well. Man was hiding in the corners and shit, being annoying. One of the main issues he has is armor. He needs to change that shit. Thing exploded here, so you want that right now. Depends what luck he gets. He might have an analyst. There's the armor problem. Leave that guy's ass. And he just delivered him a brawler because he's a goat. As you can see, even PDbreezy knows he is ass. From this point, loot and bags. That's where the vacuum doctrine comes in. You have 2 incentives for people to return. Number 1, their loot. Number 2, their team. As you can see here, they are catching onto the incentives that PDbreezy has given them, and now he's gonna whip out his big, long MP40 and spread them cheeks.
Supply drop incoming.
It's the best way to kill people because it's much easier to kill people when they're trying to loot bags and shit than if they're actually like looking at you. Unfortunately, this guy was like just chilling, so took some damage. There is another kid here, by the way. Either PDbreezy lacks ears or just wasn't having his best vision there. But an early push like this, very effective. I don't mess around too much with this side of a push. So I will do early vacuums, but only in Warden House. He's doing it pretty well on New Industries. The only issue with this that I don't particularly like is, first of all, New Industries is very long. People can land here or here. Here, it's not really an issue. They're all landing back, which is nice. They're all bots, so it's good. And the main issue, though, is supply, because trying to get supply in here, a bit of a problem. We'll see how supply goes on this game, because we've already watched Cam Sweats and Fearful Dad's gameplays, and both of them just got annihilated by supply. So rest in peace. Right now, PDbreezy's, as I can remember from those 2 other games, PDbreezy's supply is looking much better than theirs. I think it's because he's playing solo squad, just like me. Because that solo squad players actually understand the importance of having perks and shit in your inventory. Using Skulker for his advantage in case the guy shoots back.
Get to safety.
Holy.
Wipe, you can't really do much. The 10 kills here right now is enough for 50 bomb timing. This is why having an early vacuum is beneficial. If you're trying to go for the 30s, which most people of like that watch me are, you do not need to play this fast, by the way. You can play very much more slower for 30s than this. So, especially if you're playing solo squad, you don't really have to, if you don't have a 30, you don't have to worry about playing as fast as PDbreezy is here. That's not particularly something that you need to worry about. There is a concept though, with death in solo squad, where you play Iron Man. And what Iron Man means is you don't really give a fuck if you die, because you can start another game. So this early push concept works in that mentality and that philosophy. For me, I play Iron Man, but not too much Iron Man. So, you know, I try and maximize every game to the best of its potential, and I try and not make too many moves that have such risk that they might be a bit interesting. Here, the risk quite high, but it worked out very well. That supply drop, I don't know why he didn't push it particularly. The only threat he has is Model Industries and people around him, which I don't believe there is any. Might be wrong. Pop in a Strom kit might be, my opinion, bad idea, especially playing solo squad. If you're playing squad, no problem. Keep it. Or pop it, doesn't matter. Solo squad, the trauma kit is very important because it will allow you to go from 20 HP to 200 in 1 second. If you're getting quad shelled, that's what you need. And you need those trauma. You want it with consumer as well. Popping it like this only gives you an extra 2 shots of tank. Won't really make that much of a difference. Man, someone already grabbed it. What the hell? That's not a bad idea, by the way, for people who might say, oh, you didn't shoot the guy behind him. No, this guy behind him was a Strife. The guy here might have a war machine. Who are you gonna die from? The Strife when you have full armor and full shit, or the guy with the war machine who's looting a bit, might have a war machine, allegedly, maybe. You never know with this game. It's better to just bang up this guy, because he's actually the main threat. And the guy behind him has no good trigger finger. He's ass, so he'll take care of him later. As I predicted, because I'm just fucking, my Zim Apex just knows everything. I'm a fucking genius. Okay, I don't know what the fuck was that. What the fuck is that? Okay, I don't know. I think PDbreezy might have had his brain a bit upside down when he did that. I'm gonna lie. But anyway, moving on. Importance of supply. Let's say we were watching Camera Sweat right now. There's no fucking brawler. So yeah, this will be a rest in peace type of maneuver. In my opinion, staying in new industries wouldn't be such a bad idea. Like pushing this is kind of... They are ass, what the hell? It's a bit annoying pushing model industries. Model industries is 4 floors. People can land on like the 1st floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor, roof. Because of how the staircases and pipelines are set out, they can be anywhere, which is an issue. You can't bomb this very effectively. If you have 3 teams here, works fine. If you have 2 teams, difficult. And if you only have 1 team like this, you better hope they don't have supply, otherwise you're getting your ass beat down. Luckily they didn't have supply with PDbreezy, so it was okay. From here, I would recommend, he's on north side. North side usually is more annoying to play than south side in my opinion.
It's not pushing when they're less alive.
Yeah, that's true. That they do that to me as well though, PDbreezy. Like, they want your Zim Apex. He's pushing over here, which isn't like a bad idea. It really doesn't matter where you go. You could. This is like the heartland of the north. You could literally go spend 5 seconds to move from any of these core locations to each other. That's the one benefit of the north. The only issue is all the locations are really weird to farm, so not very good. And that's where some interesting maneuvers will do. Now, what do you think PDbreezy will do here? My idea: run away. Screw that shit. It's a VMP, which means that these guys are playing conservative. Most likely 4 people there. It's definitely not going to be just like 1 kid. Either definitely take the back staircase, hop over it. Might even screw this trauma kit, just like leave it. He doesn't have grapples, which is it might be a mistake, but he never found any, so that's not really an issue. If you had grapples, you would grapple on top, try and take high ground. That'll put you in a better position. Or you need information right now. The information he has right now is a barricade in front of his face. That's the information, perfect information. The whole world knowledge is gonna be hidden right here in this like whatever this shit is. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. He's choosing to ego chow. Interesting. Not a bad idea. Looks decent. These guys never pushed. He actually predicted this better, because what I thought was happening, I thought those guys were further ahead. I thought they were here. He's full ego challenging them. He's using that science quite well. Ain't gonna lie. Those guys did run away though. Interesting. They were scared of his MP40. They feared that shit. That was interesting. That was a weird ass scenario. Okay, not a bad idea. I thought what was gonna happen. You never do it like this, because I've done this one time on my 42 kill game. It was a 1v4. I accidentally popped a brawler on top of 2 other brawlers when it was slivered, and yeah, it was a rest in peace. The reason, I'm actually glad PDbreezy does it, because most people don't. The reason you don't pop your perks at the same time when you play solo squad, a cool solo squad benefit is, guess what, you're playing Iron Man. When you die, you die. You ain't gonna die from the same brawler, so just let the enemy have it. Don't bother about ego and trying to like eat all the brawlers so no one else can get it. Just leave it. Keep the brawler, it'll save you space. So this is definitely a respectable play right here. He is losing supply. His perks are diminishing. He's not actually as bad of a situation as Fearful and Camware though. I have a feeling he doesn't really know exactly where to go, because these guys are weird. If you don't know where to go, he's doing the right play. Go high ground. Gets you better information. He's jumping down. So exactly, he chilling. Beat that guy's ass now. Also, by the timing, he's lost a bit of timing, not much. He has lost a bit. By now, it could be like a 45. He's hearing looting. Again, with the vacuum doctrine, incentives for people redeploying all their loot is back here. He's not actually looting them. There is a positive to that, because it means people will actually open the bags. So when you leave bags closed, you can hear people open them. So if you ever have like a guy with like strife and bandages, maybe you would want to leave the bag closed. I don't particularly, because I don't want them to like have a mobility and then me not pick it up. This is why you grapple sometimes. Unfortunately, he never got any. Because you can, everything just goes faster. Here, this is something wrong. I think this is just of the time. So climbing a ladder like this, very primitive, very of the time when before I was born in 2020. What you're supposed to do, you climb the ladder and then you jump at the top of it. So you mantle you mantle right before you get up there. This will cut out like a bit of time. It also makes it slightly safer. Here he climbs all the way to the top. In my opinion, bad idea. You always want to double jump it at the top.
Oh, outside, outside.
That knowledge was probably not common back then though. So I don't know if it was or not. MP40 choice, by the way. Quite good. He's on normal ping. If you're on normal ping, you can beat people down. Very good against people who redeploy. And that's kind of the enemies he's getting right now. People with no armor. Bad idea here. Loot here. This is a very big mistake. Loot the bag behind you, then go. Main issues. Very few meds. When if you'll watch my gameplay, sometimes I don't have a lot of meds. But I will never put myself in a position where I physically have no access to meds. He has access to meds, he is rejecting it. Bad idea, in my opinion personally.
Be advised, further collapse expected. Relocate.
Also a bad idea, although I will tell you, I did this mistake for about 2 years of playing Alcatraz. It works sometimes, it doesn't. Can you guess what it is? I'll tell you anyway, because I can't be asked to waste time. A hip firing SG-12. If you hip fire, there is a lot of bullshit with the hit detection on this game, and it will take, for some reason, in a lot more shots than if you just aim down sights. It's one of the main guns where aiming down sights with this gun is actually very beneficial. It's the opposite of the MOG. With the MOG, you preferably don't want to aim down sights because the pellets go so close together that they don't actually do damage. It's weird. But with this gun, you do actually preferably want to aim down sights. Here, it makes it a bit safer. He also has a VMP, which I like. You can hear this from further away, so always take note of what guns people have. Gets you prepared for when you need to loot them. That stun, not sure. It was okay. This brawler, bad idea. Very bad idea. First of all, you're hopping into somewhere where there's 10 million corners here. There's more corners than the amount of shapes in this fucking glass in there. It's like infinite corner, like there's an infinite corner machine in there. In Infinite Corner Industries. So punching this kid, very bad idea. And there's a head glitch on the left that you can get beamed from. The reason you don't want to punch him, first of all, it takes time to run up. Second of all, you're going to be timed in to punching. Third of all, if you use the newer technique that wouldn't be present at this time, unfortunately, of the gameplay being recorded, if you try and jump punch into this guy to get leverage and speed, yeah, you're getting speed into a corner and a wall. That ain't gonna really help. Bad things that can happen, you get beamed from any corner that's available here. Because some bots, they don't shoot the first person who comes down because they're like they're too stupid. They don't realize a guy who like went through. Then they clock, but then you're jumping down next, so they're gonna shoot you instead. Shooting this guy would have been much better. In hindsight, you can tell because of the 10 damage, but it's not even hindsight. It's just, in my opinion, this is a blunder move. Because this MP40 would only take like 2 bullets to hit him.
Probably shoot me on the roof, but I feel like they're... Yep.
Going back on the downs, good idea. Obviously. Ooh, interesting. There's another guy there. What I would do, I don't think I would have actually pushed them personally. I would have just, because I want this loot that's up there. So he does, because when you play solo squad, time is of the essence. You do not have time because people simply redeploy. You are under pressure continually. It is important to know when to take breaks. In my opinion, that was a decent break point. Let him go downstairs, let him heal, because he's not going to come back into action. It takes too long to heal and shit. This kid who was here, you can cut him off by a head glitch or whatever, or beam him a bit, and then grab the VMP that you needed before. And grab it quick.
Supply drop incoming.
Wrong bag. Okay, his looting is, oh my god. What the Okay. It's of the time. It's of 2020, 2020, I guess it's acceptable. If it's me, you gotta get that D-pad smacking. You gotta be smacking that D-pad. You gotta be domestically abusing that shit to pick up your items. What you should be worried about, which he wasn't, at 10 seconds people redeploy. There is a shit ton of loot you're standing on. It's a gold treasure chest of loot. I would assume people land. These guys are scared of a Zim Apex though, so they ain't gonna land. But always assume there's someone that's gonna land on you, so don't try and look down while you're standing on some guy's loot that might come back with a strike. At least at 10 seconds. Every other time, don't worry. But here, he was shooting downstairs at 10 seconds. That's a 30 bomb. At this point, you're getting a nice... he's losing kill potential. I'm not sure exactly how, particularly, because this... Actually, no, he doesn't lose kill potential. I'm counting it. It's still about like mid-40. Depends really how the game goes. Here, in my opinion, shoot him. Don't bother on the head glitch. If you're good enough, you'll beam him. This gun is more than capable. I would personally grapple that. And punch him instead of double shot. More efficient. One thing that you might not realize with efficiency, if you keep one bullet in your gun, it has a faster reload than if you have 0 bullets. Not particularly interesting, but also why you would want to punch him, because then you could reload this gun faster. There's no chamber animation. It's like 3 frames faster, but it's more efficient. There's a guy here, I believe. Yeah. He's not looting this shit. I don't know why. Oh my god. Actually, one of the things I think I might know why. So as we saw before, his looting capabilities were quite slow. Not as advanced as I have got in mind to. So I guess my perspective is very different. So he might find looting to be not as viable for the situation he's in currently, which is perfectly fine. It is what it is. You want to play with whatever you are capable of, in my opinion, and stretch it to whatever potential you can. Don't try and like act out things that you might not be feeling comfortable doing, especially in a game like this. But these are major blunders, not picking this shit up. Major. I can't stress that enough. The amount of access he has to supply is insane. In the gameplays we analyzed before, Fearful and Cam, some of their supply was shit. So it wasn't particularly fully their fault that their supply was going downhill. But PDbreezy here is thoroughly neglecting his options. Now he's trying to maximize, which is the goal here. If we take a look at when this was uploaded, this is uploaded sometime around the time where he got the world record. So his best at that time would have been 45. He might be trying to maximize it to 47 or something like that. In that particular idea, this makes some sort of sense. It's still wrong, but you can justify it.
Safe zone evac orders are in effect.
The bags you're trying to loot, the safest bag, the easiest bag to loot was the one that was in the little hut down here. That's one of the bags. He had an opportunity to loot this one quickly, but I don't think he would have been able to loot this fast enough. There was also a bag somewhere else. I can't remember exactly particularly. Oh yes, inside the zone here. You can use the zone as cover, in my opinion. In the end game, sometimes people don't really check. And he has a smoke! And he has a smoke! Oh my god. What the fuck? I didn't even pick this shit up, but it's good. It's a really good thing for looting. For looting. Okay, I guess we're gonna be chilling though. Armor repairs, good. Playing conservative. At this point, think about this though. If you're in a situation, so particularly for me, because I play solo squad a lot, I don't believe PDbreezy's stock of gameplays was like 10% solo squad. I think it was not particularly low, but not entirely high. You will be suffering from clouds in your mind. You ain't gonna know what you do because you're stressed. His composure is good, but it is something to take into account, especially when you have a nice game like this. And I think for him, this game has potential to beat his original record. So from all those games, will always be stressed. You always question what to do. Now this is some crazy ass shit. Like imagine like getting beat down. Like what the okay. I actually saw that barricade before, but you wouldn't be able to cancel because of the momentum. So me and him both would have gone into that.
Circle collapse imminent.
You need to reach out this very fast. Like this maneuver, this circle. I'm not sure what he was doing with the circle. Actually, he was trying to pop the next med. fine, but in my opinion, prioritize getting up here as fast as possible. Here, hold, don't. Yep, okay. No problem. When you're in here, you can do an elbow. Just don't wide peek, especially when you don't know where the guy is. So here, I would not particularly know where he is. I would only find out now. Important thing, he's reloading. And this guy is not, and he's in cover. I believe he's gonna go right instead of left. Yes, he went right instead of left. Simple cost, simple small blunder. It cost the game though. Very well played game though, in my opinion. Very well played. Solo squad, as a game, very impressive in my opinion. Better than some of the solo squads that are being released now. Definitely an enjoyable gameplay to watch as well. Unfortunately, it is a tragedy. The way of death, it is honorable. It's not something that's particularly like annoying. It could be worse. It could be a tomahawk, or it could be some like random corner camper. At least he died facing the enemy, and it was just a small little issue that cost the game, which was just a misjudgment. I think he might have possibly believed he was in a corner, which is why he did a wider peek, because if he was in the corner, the wider peek would have protected him. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. It is unfortunate. I don't believe particularly there would have been any major like outlying ways to say like, oh yeah, he should have done this, it would have saved him. It's more smaller things. The way he implemented his playstyle is very well. His playstyle is pretty concrete to his capability. Like, it's not like he's like playing shit that makes no sense to him. And also in general, the things that he does, I know make sense to him because I can analyze his gameplay. It makes sense, particularly, say, in his perspective. It might not be amazingly amazing on paper, but if it makes sense in his perspective, that's fine. So the game was played very well. Supply did collapse. Collapsed, not horribly. Still was good enough. Still had armor, still had ammo a bit. But the supply, I guess you could argue, maybe if you looted those bags fast enough, a better looting time, because his looting time was a bit inadequate for the situations he was faced with. If he had a better loot time per bag, then he might have found like a sensor or something, being able to saw the 4 guys here, or he might have found like a skulker. If you had a skulker, the crouch he made here would have maybe, I don't know if he crouched. No, he didn't, but I would have crouched to hide behind this, might have saved him. Consumer would have been better, because Consumer, what would happen if Consumer, this medkit here would have been popped before, he would have been able to reach out faster, get them off on a better timing, because the timing he got, I believe, was just 2 people on one. So if he popped that, yeah, the timing was a bit shittier. If he popped that a bit faster, then it would have been better for him. So there was definitely some points in supply that would have helped, which would have been derived from looting bags. That's a defeated face. Nah, I've had that before. When did I have that? I can't remember. 1 second. It was definitely a time when I fucked up a game. Oh yes, my 39. My original 39. The original EU record from like ages ago. That was my face then. I've choked so much. Like, there's a point where eventually you'll choke so many games though that you will not really care too much what you choke. So it will just become any other game if you play solo squad enough. I think he's contemplating the situation he just got himself into. He also had more downs than he had on kills. I believe these are the later downs. His damage was over damaged. Could have definitely gone to 40 very easily.
We literally just got a 38 and we had 4 people left.
The maximization he could have had was 42. So he did lose. He was bleeding a bit of potential over time. It wasn't anything crazy. The potential ideas, so kill potential as an idea, is very rough. It's an estimation. It's not something you could like go say like, if you at this point in the game with this timing and this many kills, you're gonna end up here. It's just a rough estimation. So there are certain variables which will affect the outcome of the game that aren't really in your control. So I can have like the perfect early game and still fuck up and get like a 38. I think that's actually probably happened before to me. Or I can have like the shittest early game and get like a 40 choke with 48. That's happened to me as well. A 48 choke, not the 48 world record, by the way. And that's the end of that. That's looking very, very top tier gameplay. I think one of the better ones I analyzed. Solo squad, any sort of improvements? The game was very centered around North, which in my opinion isn't particularly pleasant to play. It's not pleasant to play. Doesn't mean that you should be avoiding it. It is what it is. He did well with what he had. Supply, not perfect, but definitely good enough for what he was trying to take. If you're talking about movement, what I picked up on throughout my time watching this, I don't believe he knows how to slide. I might be wrong. If you want to correct me, no problem. I have a feeling PDbreezy was unable to slide throughout the game, or at least slide in the sense of not multiplayer and league slides, because the realm of knowledge within Black Ops 4 is very fractured. A lot of the knowledge that's within league, it's not the same as Blackout, same with MP, it's not the same there. So everything is in different areas. That's one of the reasons I could basically fucking thrust into Blackout very fast and get better really quickly, because I simply knew shit that wasn't available as interpretations here. So of course at this time he wouldn't have had these the knowledge of the newer mechanics of movement. Well, not so newer, but at that time they were just simply in different realms. They weren't in the realm. But yeah, he wasn't particularly using slide cancels, I believe, to camera people. I could make videos on them, how they work for my people if they wanted to one day, who knows. I believe his movement consisted mainly of jumping. Yes, I do believe it was mainly consistent of jumping. From what I'm aware, he doesn't use back buttons, so it is harder to do slides. Also this right here, nice comment I'll make on the side. When you grapple, I would recommend grapple here or here, have a space. What this will do is it will fling you, because he grappled like in the center of like a big ass board. I'll just like push you upward. If this guy's a goat, then he will just beam you out of the sky. Now he did try and curve out, so like he actually did go through, but you don't get as much momentum if you try and like grapple into a pile of wall. I think that's basically about it for the gameplay. I mean, if you have any questions about what I'm trying to like showcase and talk about, then of course put them down in the comments. If you like the sort of video style that I make right here, tell me, I'll make some more, no problem. And I think that's basically everything for today. I'm not gonna take much more of your time. If you do want me to take much more of your time, then get your ass to my other videos now and sub for the glory of Black Ops 4. But anyway, vive la gloire de BO4, and au revoir.